Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I'm James, your black friend,
and this is the Fat and Black Connection.
where we talk about anything and everything. Well, as long as it's interesting to us, of course.
Naturally, because if it ain't interesting to us, it ain't important. And why would we talk about it?
Right.
So, James, what do you think of that opener?
Yeah, I dig that music.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
hot.
Brian. Yes, Brian. That is new theme music, baby.
That's right. Welcome to the show. We got our dam, Mr. Brian Allen Hobbs, checking in. Yes, new theme music. New production company that Fat and Black now reports to, if you will. They got their logos everywhere, so they got their hands deep inside of James.
Hey, whoa, huh? Hold up.
So, unfortunately, similar to our last episode, today kind of starts a little bit on a sad note. We had a loss, and one that kind of hits a little bit close to home, only in as so much as my junior year in high school, your senior year in high school, we had the privilege, if you will, to do the show Grease. And neither of us had huge roles. I was Johnny Casino, got to sing Born to Hand Jive. That was fun. And I was one of the greasers that got to hang out with the other greasers. I believe you were a nerd, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they basically took Eugene's part and kind of spread it out over three people. So
Yes. And it was kind of cool. At least, you got a little bit of love.
yeah.
But unfortunately, this last week, Olivia Newton-John passed away, finally succumbing to cancer after about a 30-year battle.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, yo, that's a really long time to be fighting cancer.
Yeah.
That's like a really long time. And
we've got our friend from Murphy's Inc., Tara Eon, checking in. Hi, fat friend and black friend. Good evening, Tara. Thank you for checking in. Good to see you. Hope you enjoy what we're putting together for tonight. Please feel free to comment throughout.
All day.
But yeah, Olivia Newton-John, 1948-2022. Huge. I didn't realize, I never really knew much about Xanadu. Didn't really care much to know much about it, honestly. I've heard some of the music from it, never really interests me. But there was a clip somebody posted from the film that was her, and I didn't realize Gene Kelly was in that film.
Oh.
And it's the two of them dancing, singing, doing a tap number. And I was like, man, I honestly didn't. I knew she could sing, obviously, but I didn't realize she could dance that well as well. Because, in Greece, she didn't do much.
Yeah. Because she didn't have to. I mean,
yeah.
But no, yeah, no. So, I just, when I was reading like that she had done how long she'd been battling cancer and then, finally succumbing to it, but at least she had her family and friends around. So that was nice. John Travolta did a little tribute to her on Twitter or something like that. So,
yes,
much love.
Hopelessly devoted.
Yep.
Absolutely to Olivia Newton-John. I actually didn't realize that she was as old as she was either. That was a little bit surprising.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Let's switch gears. Let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Let's have some beverages, shall we? I've still got some more of my Canadian lager from last week. I've got to get finished off. So that's my intention for today, is to finish this sucker off.
You do that. I'm going to go ahead and just drink this Kirkland sparkling water.
Lame. Also, I didn't
get any beer this week.
I do got to say, we here at the Fat and Black Connection do not condone drinking on a podcast and then driving.
Yeah.
We here at the Fat and Black Connection will drink during our podcast, but you will not see us driving down the road after.
Mostly because we go to bed right after. But
yes.
Either way, enjoy responsibly, people.
Yes, and we will discuss more on this topic later in the episode, but just want to make sure, since I'm cracking some beer and drinking it, I want to make sure it's well known. As soon as we finish this podcast, I will not be going for a drive.
No, not at all.
And I also won't be taking any vodka shots, but that's a different topic. So one of the things that we got to put out there really early on here on the show is that there is we are going to have later in the episode the world premiere of
What?
world premiere of the Murphy's Inc. Teaser trailer.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, so we will have that later in the episode. So stick around.
Make sure you stick around for that. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it's fire. It's almost as much fire as our intro music now.
Yo, digging that, man. Digging that.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy that music. So thank you, 97 and Out Productions, for making that happen.
Yay!
So you ready to dive into some content?
Oh yeah, man. Let's go.
Okay, well, first up, coming up in the very near future, the Fat and Black Connection has a VIP table at the Best of the West Rib Cook-Off at the Nugget Casino Resort. And guess what? There are still open seats available.
Get in on that, people. I would love to go. Unfortunately, I'll be in training still.
Yes. So if you are interested in making your way to the Northern Nevada area Labor Day weekend and would like to join our VIP table, please feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, whatever platform you're listening or watching. We're also, of course, always checking all of our podcast feeds. So if you wanna join us, let us know. Obviously, our black friend won't be there, but I'll be there. So James was supposed to be there, but
my training and all that stuff got moved, and so now, which is a little irritating, but it is what it is. So yeah,
good times.
Yeah.
So speaking of other Fat and Black Connection upcoming events, this is the ship, the Norwegian Bliss, and this is a shot in Alaska. I bet Brian tunes out for the next 45 seconds or so. There's a reason that we're showing this. So Fat and Black Connection, we are hosting a cruise. We're going on a cruise to Alaska.
Going on a cruise.
7 fun-filled days, going up the Alaska coast, coming into Canada, and then coming back to Seattle. It's going to be a lot of fun. We've got close to 50 people already signed up. If you are interested in joining this cruise, let us know. We've got a private Facebook group we can get you linked into. We also have a private, what did we call him?
Cruise consultant?
Yes, cruise consultant.
Yeah. He's not really private, but
he is ours.
He's working with us.
Yes. So if you are interested in joining that cruise, please hit us up. Let us know. We'll get you all the deets.
Get in on it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I have not been on a major cruise like this, and so this will be a first for me. I've been on many cruises, but always on, small ships. Never.
Oh, all right.
Never a major cruise line. Cool. So yeah,
it'll be fun.
Yeah. So let's talk about a little bit of news. So there was an interesting story that came out. So I've mentioned that I've got a new home, and it is a Toll Brothers home. And there was an interesting story that came out in the Reno Gazette Journal, the RGJ, about an issue with a title company. So
down here,
huh?
The title company was wherever it came from was down here. So it's just funny too.
Really quickly, Brian calls out, funny thing, my parents just took this cruise for their 50th anniversary, and the boat was basically empty. With that many people in your party, you might have the place more or less to yourselves. Well, that would be nice. I'm not going to hold my breath.
Yeah.
It'd be better if you were going to be joining us, but
that would be. But no, you got to go someplace else. Whatever.
Yeah, I got to go wherever my girlfriend says.
My girlfriend's taking me somewhere special, so I have to go. Whatever.
Anyways, back to what we were talking about. So this is a community. It's Stonebrook. It's in Sparks. And somebody bought a home, a Toll Brothers home,
Yeah.
and was in essence given something like 80 other parcels of land.
Yeah. And that was
And some of these parcels were already sold. People already living in them,
Oh,
owning these homes.
I didn't even realize it was like that. I thought there were some of them were still being built. But
Yeah.
that's even more funny that people were living in them and they were just given their land.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, obviously, this is a clerical error. It's going to get corrected,
Yeah.
but I don't understand how this got through everyone all the way to the county assessor. And it was the county assessor that identified the error.
Let's see. Click, click. Wait, what?
Yeah, it was a copy and paste job, basically, is what it sounds like.
That's what the article was saying, was copy and pasting. It's like, yo, how do you copy and paste and mess it up that bad? That's
Yeah.
when you're not even thinking about it. You're just like, whatever. Okay.
So what's really crazy about this image that we've got up on the screen right now is that this whole valley that's on the screen had nothing in it up until about the last 7-8 years. You'll see in the distance over here on the right, this little farm kind of area that's been there for a while. But anything else, this track housing over here, this track housing out here, all of this, it was just a pretty much empty valley.
Wow.
So it's continuing to grow. Sparks Northern Corridor is it's getting quite vast out there, and the prices are still good. So if you're looking to move to the Northern Nevada area, I definitely say look in North Sparks or North Reno for that matter.
Yeah.
And Tara says sounds like an inside job.
I mean, it's not like the woman's gonna be able to keep the stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, well, I wonder what would have happened if it got through the assessor. I mean,
yeah,
because it sounds like, and it might not be the case, but it sounds like reading the article, they interviewed the person who, in essence, was getting all of this land, and they were unaware. And man, could you imagine getting that tax bill when it came due?
Wait, what the hell? Yeah.
Because I can tell you, like, for my house, I think we pay something like close to $4,000 a year in property tax. So times 80, that'd be a pretty hefty bill.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting headline there. So James, when we used to live together,
Right.
actually we've lived together on 2 separate occasions.
Right.
And on the most recent occasion, we lived. I don't say we lived together. You lived in my house.
Yes.
You were my tenant.
That is correct.
Yes, you were a rentor of mine. And while we were living there, there was a game that we were introduced to, a card game, tabletop game called Marvel Legendary.
Yeah.
And there were many different decks.
They came out with expansions. Yeah, they expanded that thing huge.
They still are.
They still are. Oh.
Yeah. There's still 3 to 4 sets a year that come out.
Oh wow!
And I still love the game. I haven't bought a new set in quite a while because I don't really have anyone to play with.
Right.
You're down there.
Right.
The friend that we played with, Angel, he's got a wife, and he's doing his thing now.
Yeah.
So it's just sitting there collecting dust. I'd like to find some people to play with because I really love playing the game. I thought it was a lot of fun. Well, the maker of the game is
Upper Deck.
Yeah, Upper Deck. Best known for their cards.
Baseball cards.
Yeah. So they have actually come out. There have been other legendaries, but it's basically the same concept game with just somewhat different mechanics. And there's been a Bond one, 007.
Oh, that's right.
There was a X-Files one.
Okay.
Aliens.
Like aliens, like Ridley Scott aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
None of those have really excited me. None of those have really, I want to get that.
Did DC get one?
No. Who wants to do that?
Yeah. All right. I was wondering.
Yes. Oh, and Tara says that I think DC did one too. DC does have a similar card-based game. but it is not done by Upper Deck. It is not a legendary, and it's not as good. Just as
sounds like DC.
Yeah, the only thing to me that DC really has the leg up on, and we've talked about this before, is their animation is usually better.
Yeah.
And in general, a lot of the times their comics are better. Their storylines in their comics are better. They just don't translate well to film. And their television was really good for a long time with like the Arrowverse and the Flash and the stuff they were doing with that.
Yeah, the CW stuff was actually pretty darn good. I'm not gonna
Going
lie.
all the way back to Smallville.
Smallville's what started it off. Like Smallville was dope. I really like Smallville, but yeah, nah.
Yeah. So, anyways, ultimately, Upper Deck has come out with a new legendary, and I am excited for this one.
Revealed.
Legendary encounters the Matrix. So it's going to have similar gameplay, game style. You can see there's the back of the box with the play mat, the cards. So it's going to be very similar to what you already know and loved from Marvel Legendary, but based around the Matrix. And the one cool thing that I love about the Legendary games is that it has the ability for solo play. You don't have to necessarily play with other people. You can play by yourself with different setups, and it's kind of fun in that regard.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Going back to what we were saying about DC, but the newest CW Superman TV show was really weak. I haven't watched it. There is a current. I think it's Superman and Lois is what it's called, or Lois and Superman, something like that. I haven't really watched it just because Smallville was so good. Going back to like Lois and Clark was really good.
The problem is that, like, I think one of my biggest issues with the CW shows, those shows, is they ran too long. It felt like they just ran them too long.
They outlived their usefulness.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, Legendary Encounters, the Matrix.
Cool. That's really cool.
So this it's not even official. So Legendary actually had a tournament last week or 2 weeks ago, where it was like this huge thing where people came and bought in, and this was revealed at that tournament.
Oh, nice.
So there is no timeline on when this will be coming out, but when it does, I'm absolutely probably going to pick it up.
Hey, I remember you telling me about the Kickstarter or something for the Orlog game.
Yeah.
Did that ever come out? Or?
Oh yeah, that came out. I actually have it. It's upstairs in my puzzle room, my game room.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Next time.
Yeah, next time you come to visit or I come down there, I'll bring it, or you can come up here and we'll play, because it's nice. It's a really nice set. Maybe I'll bring it on next week since we're talking about it. And
I just thought we were talking about games, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a while back. I wonder if that ever.
Yeah, that happened. I got it. It's because I paid for like a lot of the upgraded pieces and stuff. So I've got like these nice wooden tokens that are the different gods, and these nice gold tokens that are, it's just,
okay.
I paid for the upgraded stuff.
Cool. All right.
Yeah. But it's fun, and it plays, just like when you're playing it in Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
All right.
So yeah. We posted this, I believe just today, or maybe it was yesterday, very brief trailer for an upcoming series that it really doesn't give much away. And since we're already talking about some DC stuff.
Yeah.
Pennyworth. So obviously a prequel to anything Batman.
Right. And I was kind of mad because it said Pennyworth, Batman's butler. No, he's not Batman's butler. He's Bruce Wayne's butler, but he helps Batman.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but anyways. But yeah, no, I mean, this is a series that actually I swear I heard about a few years back, but now it's finally coming, and it's going to be on HBO Max, so it'll be able to be a little bit more edgy.
But will it?
I hope so.
Or will they go too far with it?
That's the only problem. Is that let's not get ridiculous. Let's just keep it, because like he was he is a military guy. Like he was a part of the British military, so he has that kind of background. That's why he's good at field medicine and all that kind of stuff. How he helps Batman, but yeah, I hope it doesn't. I hope they keep it. They keep it reined in.
And of course, I think Brian is likely leaning into this. Last week, it was announced that the Batgirl film that had been fully filmed,
Yeah,
millions of dollars was dumped into,
just got axed.
has been scrapped. But for some reason, The Flash is still going to happen. And so Brian saying, fingers crossed that it actually happens.
I think this is already done. I have a
So
feeling.
was Batgirl.
No, yeah. I mean, I have a feeling it's a series. So I mean, Batgirl was supposed to be a movie, correct?
Yes. What's your point?
I'm just saying.
I'm fairly certain they dumped a whole hell of a lot more into Batgirl than they are into Pennyworth.
That's true. I mean,
for them to
I just don't,
scrap it.
and I don't even understand why they scrapped it. There was no reason given.
Not that I've come across.
Yeah.
It is mind-boggling that you would invest that much money and people's time and talents into
a movie that's not going to happen. I think they said something about they can use it as a write-off or something, but still.
Maybe, but they don't even anticipate. They're not even going to release it on HBO Max. They're not. It is completely scrapped, and I don't. It boggles the mind, and I feel bad for the actors. I feel bad for the directors.
That's time. I mean, that is a lot of time. I mean, I did extra work on a film, and that was time consuming as all hell. So imagine doing an entire film. And all of a sudden, nah, we're not going to release this.
Yeah, like I said, to me, it's absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, and again, you know what? Like you said, you could just don't put it in theaters, but release it on HBO Max or something, so at least that people can, at least the people who worked on it, get that recognition. I mean, it might not. I don't know.
Well, and imagine how many people maybe had contracts that were tied to the film getting released.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't even know who was supposed to be in it.
I can't.
Because the thing is that because the only way that most of the time when a contract is when they have contracts that are tied up into like ticket sales and stuff like that, they're big names. They're like big names.
Yes, that is generally the case.
Yeah.
That's why Robert Downey Jr. made so much money on Endgame.
Yeah, Matt, that's a great question. Why would they just can a movie that was completed? We don't know. That's what all we can do is suspect what I mean. I'm just thinking that they just decided it didn't fit. But that's the other thing, is that most of those movies haven't fit into any sort of canon anyway. So I don't even understand what the point is.
Or damn saying, nah, Black, everyone on contract gets some residuals.
Okay. I mean,
yeah, if it ever gets shown.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy. That's just, I mean, and I hope so. I mean, they had to pay all those people. So, yikes.
Yeah. I mean, they, for sure, those people at least got paid what they, their hourly or the contract rate. But I am sure there are some people that had certain things within their contract based on how the film might have done.
Yeah.
So
actually,
speaking,
I might actually. That's something I might actually like to see. I do like the Batgirl story. Depending on how they do it, that's the main thing.
I've never been a fan of Batgirl ever, so I
think I just like the ones that they had. I think maybe it's the animated series ones that I liked.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the Oracle in like the
Yeah.
Arkham series.
Yeah.
But you know,
If they
that's
went that direction, that'd have been kind of cool. I wouldn't have mind that. Or maybe no, that was Harley Quinn. I don't know. Anyways, it doesn't really matter. It's over. It's not happening. So maybe they'll release it like in a couple years or something.
yeah. Let's move on though.
Yeah.
James, were you aware that there is a Comic-Con Hall of Fame museum, Comic-Con Museum Character Hall of Fame?
As of today, yes. Before that, I had no idea there was even a museum.
Yeah, and evidently this museum has been around for a little bit.
Yeah.
And the Hall of Fame is relatively short, and I guess they only induct one character per year.
Right.
This year was their fourth character.
Right.
So we'll start with who the fourth character was and kind of work our way back to
Right.
see. I'd love to get some participation by our audience. Let's see what happens. But this year's inductee was
Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man celebrated his 60th year this year, and also got inducted into the Comic-Con Museum Character Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Again, fourth character to be inducted. I know you know this answer.
Right. So
for the audience, can you guess who numbers 1, 2, and 3 were?
We'll give you a minute, but yeah, like
because I can tell you 1 out of the 3 makes a lot of sense to me. I absolutely could see being in the top 3.
Right. The others really made 2 of them made no sense to me. But the one thing I will say is like this museum actually sounds kind of interesting.
Oh yeah, I think a couple years from now, especially once it grows and especially when the Hall of Fame grows, and they likely will be given more content and stuff from like Marvel or DC or whoever they induct to throw into this museum.
Yeah.
That could make it really cool too.
No, I'm just like, I just had no idea. Like, I was like, oh, Comic-Con. And then I literally saw this article and it said Comic-Con Museum or Hall of Fame. And I was like, what? And so the search was on.
But, so we're getting some feedback. So Tara is saying that number 1 has to be Soups. Tara, I'm going to tell you right now,
You're
Superman
wrong.
has not been inducted. We've got Matt Murray. Is Iron Man 1? Nope. Then Tara says Howard the Duck, followed by Spawn. Both amazing comic characters.
Spawn, it was that legendary.
We got Terry checking in with Batman, and yes, Batman was actually the first inductee into the Comic-Con Museum Character Hall of Fame. So good call out there, Terry. So we're still looking for numbers 2 and 3. And remember, this is Character Hall of Fame. Yeah. So that's where it's kind of like.
Yeah, I thought it was. When you're not going to believe these.
And Tara calls heresy.
Well,
yes, and Superman not having already been inducted, I agree. That to me, when I like the fact that Batman is there, and Batman I do believe should have been is entitled to be in that top 3.
Right.
But yes, I agree. Superman should have been number 1.
I mean, and the only reason I could think that they're holding off is that this year Superman is 84. Maybe they're waiting for 85 for next year. I don't know.
Or maybe they're going to wait till he's 100.
Oh, maybe.
We've got some more things being called out. We've got Jackson. No. The Tick. Great character.
Spoon.
Great character, but no. The Flash.
No.
Nope. So let's go ahead and give them one of the 2. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll give it away. And, we want to make sure we're inclusive and representative. So Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman is in the top 3.
Wonder Woman was actually last year's recipient.
Yes. So it was Batman, blank, Wonder Woman, and now Spider-Man. So if anybody can guess the
If
number
if
two
if you
without,
guess the number 2 without looking it up, I would be absolutely amazed.
yeah, because it's frankly pathetic.
It's weird.
Archie
It's
from Archie Comics. I like that guess
Yeah, that's
because
a good guess.
that comic book series is very pivotal in the world of comics. Without the Archie comics, we may not have a lot of what we have today.
That's true.
And stuff from Archie still gets produced. Riverdale.
Yeah.
So I don't want to spend too much more time on this. So I'll wait and see if we get one more guess from anyone, and then we'll just give it away. Who the number two? Hulk smash
Oh,
again. I like
that's a
Hulk.
good one.
I don't know that I would personally see Hulk even being in the top 10,
No.
especially when it's the character Hall of Fame. Some
Yeah.
people that come to mind when I think about a character Hall of Fame: Mario,
Okay.
Sonic.
Okay.
You know, we're expanding the thoughts, right? So Ezio Auditore.
He might get in there at some point.
Yeah, for sure. I think he or Connor would likely get in at some point. Not
There's
Connor, Desmond.
there's there I mean, then you think about there's also like what was like all the just cosplay that shows up to, so like you think about
There's some good characters.
Attack on
Brian,
Titan, yeah, Buzz Bunny, Miggy Bounce, yeah, those kind of
both of
characters.
those would be great choices.
Yeah,
And would Mickey especially would logically make sense. It's just a matter of Disney would okay it, but
right.
Mickey would make sense to be maybe even number one.
Here's the thing. Number 2 is absolutely ridiculous because number 2 is Pac-Man.
Pac-Man, ladies and
Pac-Man.
gentlemen.
You know, like waka, eating ghosts, Pac-Man. How is Pac-Man number 2?
Your guess is as good as mine, friend.
It was literally, this thing apparently just started in 2019. So that, I mean, if that gives you any sort of, clue. So it's the first one was Batman. The second one, yes, exactly.
Tara is
WTF.
mad. Memory, Pac-Man, WTF, yes.
Yeah. So it's literally, so it started in 2019. That was the first one was Batman. Then Pac-Man. I don't even know. I mean, I know Pac-Man was a big game.
Maybe it was because it was COVID year.
Maybe, but I know Pac-Man was big, but at the same time, it's not. I don't think of him as a pivotal character.
I don't either.
And then you got Wonder Woman, who, I mean, yeah, she's cool, whatever, but she beat out Superman. I mean, she beat out like Wolverine or whatever, but like then you got Spider-Man, which is cool. It's a 60th year. That's cool. I like Spider-Man. And apparently they had a private gala type deal for it. And you could they had costumes and stuff from films and all that kind of stuff. So that's cool. But I was just like, yo, what? Yeah, exactly. If you're gonna do a video game character, Mario, definitely. Like, I mean, although that movie was awful. I actually I heard something that they were trying to do another Mario movie.
They are doing another Mario movie, and
they are?
yes.
Oh, that's right. It's what's
Chris
his name? Chris Pratt.
Yeah, Chris Pratt is
And
voicing Mario.
people were irritated by that.
I believe it's animated.
Yeah, I think it is animated. That's the only way I think it would work. But anyways, but yeah, no, Pac-Man. What?
Yes, Terry says Pac-Man is a thing, not a character.
I mean, yeah, I guess. He had a TV show, a very kind of horrible cartoon.
Yes, he did not have the fame of Captain Lou Albano playing Mario.
Yo. Hey, paisans, it's Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
And Tara, to you, James, I will defend the Super Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins until the day I die.
Hey, look, I'm not gonna lie. I found like a $5 copy of it, so I did buy it.
I mean, you got to think about it was a terrible script, but
Oh
the
yeah,
acting between Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo was fantastic. I mean, and Sir Dennis Hopper.
yeah. I was just irritated. Like I was like, Yoshi was this little dinosaur thing, and I was like, yo, what? What? You
I
can't even
mean,
ride him.
what is Yoshi?
Well, from the video game, you could actually like ride him through the world, and it
Mhm.
was also kind of like this weird underground like city type deal, which I was like, I mean, that's interesting, I guess, but you know, I was expecting to see, like the world of Super Mario. But anyways, got to change it up, I guess.
So we here at we discussed this earlier in the show, and actually before I go into this, I do got to make sure I tease it again. So later on in this episode, we will have the world premiere of the Murphy's Inc. Teaser trailer. So stick around for that.
Stick around.
Yeah, if you're here, it's going to be fun. So we'll have that world premiere trailer later on in the episode. One last call out before we move on to the next topic from Tara. It's so cheesy. I gotta love it. Apparently, John and Bob had to get drunk on set to make it through recordings.
Oh, what's actually perfect because it goes into our next topic.
Yes. Thank you, Tara. Thank you for the segue. So, as I said earlier in this episode, we here at the Fat and Black Connection do not condone creating a podcast, drinking during said podcast, and then going out for a drive.
Yeah,
Uh,
don't do it,
while
people.
while we here at the Fat and Black Connection will drink during our podcast,
Yeah, we sure most certainly will.
we don't go driving afterwards.
No,
Now, the same cannot be said for everyone out there.
right.
And this is the face of a person who drinks during their podcast.
One
This is Anne
and
Heche,
H.
pretty well known actress. I didn't know that she has a podcast or is involved with a podcast.
Nope.
But evidently, on a recent recording session, she was drinking quite a bit of wine with vodka bombs or vodka shots. Um,
I'm sorry. I was just about to say, did she put vodka in the wine? That'd be. Ugh, I don't even know. But
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, I
Yuck.
don't know, man. And this is the look of that same face after finishing recording said podcast and going for a drive.
What? Who does that?
So, so this image is taken after Anne has first crashed into a storage unit. Um,
I'm sorry. What?
yes. So after finishing recording and deciding to go out for a drive, Anne crashed her vehicle into a storage unit.
Like one of those, like you not what do you?
Those places where you can get a storage unit. And
Yeah, yeah.
There's like rows of them.
Right.
Yeah.
What? Okay. Wow.
So rather than there were people there, obviously filming and taking pictures and everything, rather than getting out of the car and dealing with the damage she had created, she rather decided, I'm gonna take off.
Oh,
And
Jesus.
she drove away from this. There is video footage of all of this stuff, so if you really want to go look for it, it's easy to find. Um,
Oh.
she proceeds to drive away from this and go speeding down streets um, to the point where she crashes her car basically into a house.
Into a
Um,
house.
and this is what the car looked like afterwards.
Oh my gosh.
Now, to be fair, not to be fair, that's not the right verbiage. I do have to put out there. Last I checked, she is in critical condition, extreme critical condition, I believe was the verbiage they used, and in a coma. Uh, so
Are you?
I obviously hope that she pulls through this, but um, I
Wow. What?
And yes, Tara, it does. It just keeps getting worse.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So again, please do not drink and drive. Um, do
She's
not
done. She's
drink.
absolutely done.
I mean, there are celebrities that have done a lot worse things. Um,
I mean,
s-
thankfully she didn't kill anybody.
I mean, we'll see. She may have killed herself.
Oh my gosh. I just heard she had burns. She got burns to her face or something. I didn't hear like she was in critical condition.
Yeah, she is pretty extremely burned, but yeah, in extreme critical condition, in a coma. Um, yeah,
Holy crap, dude. Definitely, definitely. Why definitely don't drink and drive, people. Come on now.
yeah, it's
Jeepers.
it's crazy news stories like this that have been coming out a lot lately, and it just boggles the mind. Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Like, it's not just celebrities.
Oh,
Well, let's talk about our next topic, right? So, James, do you recognize this logo?
yes.
Have you seen this show?
Well, I mean, not in person. I've watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, many times, right?
I mean, I've only actually watched it once, but I've listened
Oh,
to this. Because I've listened to the soundtrack. Like I've listened to the soundtrack quite a bit. I love the music. Love the music from this show.
and yes, I heard that as well. Mr. Matt Murray calls out. I think I heard random people help pull her out of her car. Yes, because it was on fire and she probably would have burnt to death in there.
Jeez.
Um, but yes, Hamilton, fantastic, huge spectacle of a show.
Huge.
I mean, this thing's won the Pulitzer, won Tonys.
After Tony.
Um,
After
it
Tony. After.
it is probably the biggest cultural phenomenon coming out of Broadway since I would say maybe Rent.
Yeah, Mary was big.
I don't really think there was much in between. I mean, Book of Mormon was pretty big, but not that big. Wicked was pretty big, but not that big.
No, Wicked was ridiculously huge.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
Hamilton.
I think Hamilton's blowing all those things out of the water, though.
Yeah. So, talking about really weird choices and poor decision making, what if I told you that this is the logo for Hamilton?
Uh, what?
So a church in Texas decided to take it upon themselves and go ahead and do an unlicensed, unsanctioned version of Hamilton the musical.
Oh boy.
And not only did they decide they were going to do this unlicensed, unsanctioned version of Hamilton, but that they were going to change it.
Oh boy.
So they went ahead and changed dialogue and lyrics throughout the show for the purposes of, I guess, evangelism. And um,
Well, they didn't do great. They didn't do the greatest job of that because apparently at the end there was this whole anti-LGBTQ plus like sermon.
I would suggest going and watching it for yourself because I wouldn't agree with that sentiment. Was
That's
there?
just the story that I
Yes,
read about it afterwards. They did,
and
yeah.
and don't read stories about things. Go research because yes, the headlines, of course, were saying that it's nowhere near as bad as those headlines make it sound, and I'm not trying to defend it
Oh,
in any way,
that
shape, or
was
form.
that was from like Playbill. That was from like Playbill's website or whatever.
I don't care. Go watch the actual footage. It's available. You can find it. I can't stand when places to get a like grabber to really get you to try and like for clickbait use those kinds of tactics because it's not like this preacher was up there uh, hate bashing and I think if I remember what the quote was, it was something to the effect of, there's a reason you're here tonight. You came to see the show, but there's a reason you're in this house tonight, still here listening to me talk. God is knocking on the doors of your heart. You may be struggling with things in life. You may be struggling with your marriage. You may have personal struggles of addiction to alcohol. You may have struggles with homosexuality. You may have, and he goes on to list other things. So that was about the extent of it. And so people are up in arms saying that he's comparing alcoholism to homosexuality, then he's also comparing marital issues to alcoholism.
I don't know. Like the whole thing is just weird. I mean, like, no, don't get me wrong. I have seen churches do musicals, but they were licensed. Like they paid the royalties to get the shows, and they did everything. It was all done by the book.
Yeah. Well, and as we've discussed on numerous occasions, you and I, we are actors. We do theater. Yeah. We know how theater is supposed to run. We've been on boards of theater groups.
Right.
And so to me, I think what really, frankly, is frustrating here is there are shows that this church could have done. They could have done Godspell.
Yeah.
That if you really want to do a musical, that's a good one to do in a church.
Even like, so I can't remember. I know they did Beauty and the Beast at a church that was really good, by the way. And then I can't remember the other one. It was Children of Eden. That was a great show. It was a little weird, but good show. But like the church has done these shows, and the church was basically built as a theater. Like the church that I saw these shows at, it was built as a theater, and so these productions are quite amazing. But like they were sanctioned shows. Like they had a couple weeks of a run. They had the whole rehearsal process. Everything was licensed, and they paid all the royalty or all the fees royalties. And everything. Yeah, all the royalties and everything they had to pay to put on the show legitimately. This show isn't even available.
So Brian claims that apparently this church has had a habit of shoehorning in Jesus rewrites to their previous productions. He says he saw a video of Beast saying he discovered Jesus Christ before dying in Belle's arms.
What? Oh boy. I mean, like literally when I saw Beauty and the Beast, like how at the end of the show, they like I said, the other shows, one of their head pastors would come out, and he would draw a comparison to the show, and then using Jesus and bringing everything together, which works. But nothing was changed. No lyrics or anything were changed. They did the show, and then they would do and then they would have like the grand finale after the pastor did his brief little speech thing. And I'm perfectly fine with that. That's okay. But to be changing words throughout a show, like you can't do that. Like there's reasons why you can't do like there's versions of West Side. What's the thing with West Side Story? You can't do.
You can't change. So in the movie West Side Story,
America was
they changed the placement of America and Officer Krupke.
Right.
Or I'm sorry, no, Cool and Officer Krupke. Also in the film, in the song America, it's guys and girls both. Where in the play, in the musical, it's written as just girls.
And you can't
make those changes.
And so for them to just do this show that wasn't sanctioned whatsoever, and then just go changing lyrics like that, yikes.
Yeah, I believe the Hamilton creative team is likely going to pursue legal recourse. I don't know what they'll get out of
No.
it because there it was two performances that were not charged. It was free.
Yeah. So I mean, the thing was is that they had the they, I guess after the first show they got a cease and desist, so they were able to do their second show, but there was stipulations added to it, and yeah. Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's just like, you know, why, why try and just make sure that whoever, I mean, you just kind of, I guess the writers, some company that helps writers, like keep an eye out on that church, because just make sure that if they're doing another show, that they've got the permission to do it. They're not changing any lyrics, or they're not doing anything that is not right.
No, I'll tell you, and I feel comfortable talking about this now. I was involved with a production of Godspell at Lake Tahoe Community College a few
Oh
years
yeah.
ago. I was cast to play Judas, and it was the worst experience of my career from a theatrical standpoint, of how poor the direction was, how poor the leadership was, everything. And the director was literally rewriting the script. The songs were staying the same, but literally we would have these rehearsals where we would almost do just improv sessions, and she would send us out pages like afterwards to say, okay, put this in your script because this is what we're going to do.
What?
Like completely rewriting. Yeah.
Uh, what?
Yeah. So a couple of comments coming out. Brian says, one thing for sure is this company will be scrutinized by the license companies.
Yeah.
They may be blacklisted even,
Yeah.
hopefully, but I don't think that'll
No.
stop them from trying to do
No,
something,
probably not.
because clearly
They didn't.
they didn't have a license to do Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton's not just is strictly not available anyways.
And Matt says, being a fan of theater, hearing that this is happening upsets
Yeah.
me. And Terry says, I wouldn't go to a church or theater that rewrites like that. Yeah,
No.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, I'd be like, I'm sorry,
And
what? And then probably like, yeah, I gotta go.
yeah, and going back to the Godspell thing, I ended up leaving that show because of what they were
Yeah.
doing and how illegal it was. I actually reported them to MTI, the licensing
Oh.
house, and luckily they did intervene.
Yeah, you can't.
But it
Yeah, you
was
can't do that stuff. I mean, like,
no.
you can't. I mean, I remember what was it? What did you tell me? Miles Gloriosus.
Yes, I did a production of a funny thing happened on the way to the forum, and I should have known it was going to be problems when at the auditions the director was calling one of the characters Miles Gloriosus, and the character's name is Miles.
Glorious. Oh boy.
So clearly she hadn't even listened to a soundtrack.
Yeah, but that's funny. But yeah, no, I mean, that's just crazy. Like, what made you think? I don't know.
So James, do you know what that means?
Oh, is it time?
For those of you watching the live stream, you'll have seen that the logo has changed up in the corner. So we've got the world premiere of this new teaser trailer from Murphy's Inc. in just a moment. Before we dive into this, James, why don't you tell us what Murphy's Inc. is?
Murphy's Inc. Well, it is a pod series. It is a pod series that both your Black friend and Fat friend are working on. We actually are now producers on the show. But besides that, it is it's a mystery series. It's a time traveling series. It's just a bunch of stuff rolled into one crazy package. And all the recording has been done and should be getting cleaned up and getting ready to be put out. So,
all right. Yeah. So ultimately, James kind of alluded to it, is a the best way we describe it is a time traveling heist story. There's a team of characters that work at Murphy's Inc. and they travel through time to obtain objects for people. That's about the long and short of that. And what do you think? Is it time?
Play it!
And now for the world premiere teaser trailer for Murphy's Inc. Imagine, if you will, that anything from the annals of time can be yours within the span of 7 to 14 business days.
That's where Murphy's Inc. comes in. We offer an unlimited selection of the most precious and exotic relics from our history. It can all be yours.
For a price.
Oh, man. Oh, it so reminds me of Carmen Sandiego. I love it.
So, yes, that is the teaser trailer world premiere here on your Fat and Black Connection.
Yes!
It will likely be up on places like YouTube and all of those other streaming platforms and podcast locations if you want to listen to it again. Tara, of course, is one of the lead writers on the show. We're excited. Yes, we are. Yes. And we actually had Tara on a recent episode. Yes. Please go back, give it a listen if you haven't already, where we interview her and some of the other team members on the
all day.
On the team.
It was a fun show.
Yes, make sure you listen. And Matt Murray loves the idea of time travel. So this will be up your alley. Season 1 is a short one. I will put that out there. Season 1 is only going to be about 6 episodes. It's really kind of to set up the universe and establish.
You gotta get your feet wet. Put your toe in.
Exactly. But season 2, we're already in pre-production, getting some early writing concepts and storyline established. And so season 2 is happening, and it'll be double the size.
Extra large.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun working on this. It's a lot of fun, obviously, working on this one. James, cool. You, I think we kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but you got to direct a little something recently. And we can go ahead and talk about that a little bit. It is a short story.
Yeah. So 97 to now is working on a couple of things. One of them.
Oh, you said their name.
Oh, it's like Beetlejuice. I gotta say it 3 times. No, I'm just kidding. But no, they're working on some short stories. Well, not them personally, but they're getting short stories submitted and turned into a audiobook format. So the first one is done. I had the pleasure of directing it, and I had an absolute blast doing so. I definitely was like, I could definitely direct a few more of these. This would be fun. But I'm really excited for that. Working on some things to get that going, and so hopefully that'll be out soon. So keep your eyes and ears open for that one. That one is
anything more you could tell us about it?
That one is called Homesick. That was written by Austin Dye, who is also one of the writers on Murphy's Inc., one of the lead writers. And so definitely it was a pleasure to work on that.
Also with the voice talents of Connor Howard.
Bro, let me tell you, this guy's voice is ridiculously good. So we will definitely keep posted on that. So keep on our Facebook page. Look out for that. We'll post, and when it gets done, when it's ready to go, we'll put it on everything. You'll be able to find it wherever. But yeah, so far so good. Oh man, I'm so thrilled.
Absolutely. Well, James, any last minute thoughts or anything before we wrap this thing up?
No, man, just be safe out there. Oh, I mean, actually, have you? Real quick, have you had the rain and stuff? No flash flood? Flash flood warnings, all that kind of stuff, or no?
We didn't really deal with any flash floods, but we did have a lot of thunderstorms and rains last
Yeah.
week. And there was some that it was like, what the heck?
Yeah,
Like,
last
I
week,
mean, literally,
right? The house was rumbling. Yeah.
Yeah. You and I were talking, and you could hear it.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
but no, like because like the whole thing that happened in Death Valley this past week, with the rain just coming in real quick and like
30 miles of road.
road getting wiped out, cars like literally like they weren't completely buried, but they were so like dirt just on top of them and everything else. So if you're somewhere where it's raining, make sure you stay safe. You know, if you see water and you're not sure how deep it is, just it's not worth
turn around
because you know it just like that your car can be swept away and with you in it, and that's no good. So if you're where it's raining right now, stay safe, people.
All right, well, with that, way to end on a downer.
No, it's not a downer. It's just like, just be safe, people. I want to make sure that you're here with us next.
Don't go driving into puddles and die.
We want to make sure you're here with us next week for sure.
Actually, speaking of, we actually won't be coming to you next week.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, we're taking next week off. I am going to Disneyland on Monday and Tuesday, driving back Wednesday. So I will not be back in time to try and put this thing together because James doesn't do anything to put this thing together. If he would actually, you know, lift a pen or something, then maybe we could do the show next week. But
I don't have the setup to really pull and do what he does.
The technical prowess. Yeah.
I'm actually trying to get one of those. I did see this thing that's like a multi-screen, so then I could do stuff like that. But until I get that, I don't have any real setup for that. Yeah.
Excuses. Anyways.
180 years.
Well, let's go ahead and shut this thing down. It's been real. It's been fun. And up until about a minute and a half ago, it was, but now it's no longer.
Hey, you wouldn't have been. You would have said the same thing even if I hadn't said that.
Thank you for the pat on the back, Tara. Great show, guys.
Thank you, Tara.
All right, James, shut it down.
Pew.